We're heading to the south coast, to Lewes, and this beer from, of course, Beak. This is Ron, it's an IPA at 6.5%, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing Ron from Beak Brewery. Beak are down on the south coast in Lewes. Make really good beers. I think they're really sort of getting a good reputation. They've got very distinct can art with this sort of cartoony stuff. They're doing everything right, really. And all their beers are all good. I don't think I've had a bad one from them, certainly. This is actually a collaboration with Allkin Brewery. And it's got Idaho 7, Talus, and Sentinel, which is we don't see Sentinel that much in these sort of beers. And it says it's gives the flavours of rose, orange, pine, and pink grapefruit. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the Talus stuff in that flavour. Certainly the pine and pink grapefruit and the rose. Orange, obviously more from the Sentinel, Idaho 7. There'll probably be a bit of pineapple in there. Let's crack it open and see what it's all about. Yeah, I mean, certainly their locals is a very good beer. I mean, they've brewed it, there's about 6 versions of it now. And I've had that numerous times that I haven't reviewed on the channel. And this looks like a cracking New England style IPA. So we've got an orange, sort of golden orange, almost to the point of looking like a custard. 2 fingers, very compact, just off white head. Looks absolutely what I want from an IPA, to be honest. Looks pretty good. What does it smell like? Yeah, lots of orange in there. Grapefruit. A bit of pineapple. Citrus fruits. Yeah, I'm not picking up... Although there's definitely that pink grapefruit, it's not got that rose and that sort of... the Turkish delight sort of aroma that you get with Talus, but maybe that comes through more in the flavour. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Lovely and creamy. Soft, sweet sort of Satsuma oranges. There's pineapple in there. There's a sort of tropicalness about it. With mango, no, I don't think they would. I would say mango and papaya. There's also a little bit sort of melon in there as well, and then you get a nice sort of. It's a sweet sort of pink grapefruit. I mean, obviously with a lot of beers you get that grapefruit, but when you got Talus, you get more of that pink grapefruit, that sweetness. You don't get any of that sort of bitterness with this, with that sort of grapefruit flavour. You get a lot of sweetness, and it's quite flowery, floral, that rose petal sort of flavour sort of coming through as well. But it's a lovely soft beer. Yeah, a little bit of creaminess. As soon as you taste it, you think, oh, it's almost, you think there's a bit of lactose in it. It's got a really creamy body. But you hit them with that orange. Then a sort of a tropical smoothie almost, but it's difficult to pick out the sort of tropical flavors in there because you get a lot of orange, and that orange, as it starts to be sweet, it sort of then develops into a little bit drier, a little bit of slight sort of orange rind coming into it. Then you get a nice sort of wave of that sweet pink grapefruit, and that just settles the beer really nicely. It's one of those great thirst quencher, easy to drink, absolutely solid IPA. When I compare this with some of the IPAs that we've had in the supermarket, there's just something about it. I think it's the smoothness that you can really tell the difference. There's a more creaminess. You just have this feeling that there's a little bit more hops and a little bit more oats going into this whole beer. And obviously, you know, I'm paying probably nearly I think I'll pay £5 for this. It might be $4.99, something like that. So, and then they are usually at the higher, at that sort of, they're usually just over £5 actually, a lot of their beers. But I think, you know, you've got to pay that money to get good ingredients. And you know, probably lots of those ingredients as well to get that real sort of creaminess about it. It's got very much of that sort of Daya sort of profile in terms of the water, the oats used, that creaminess is really the star of it. The flavours are all sweet orange and pineapple. It's just the pineapple is really subtle in it. It's more about the orange, mango. There's a little bit of earthiness in there, a little bit of pine more than pineapple, I would say, but it's quite sort of subtle. And then you get this pink grapefruit, a little bit of other citrus, lemons and limes as well. It's a really cracking beer. And, I think Beak are the ones they will probably sneak into my top 10 this year, because I think they are very good. They do release quite a lot of beers, and I don't drink as many of them as I should. As I say, they're a little bit more expensive. I try and get my beers now under £5, and they usually just over at £5.50, even £5.95. Some places. So, but obviously I think, they're going for the quality product, and they certainly are there. And they're very close to the likes of Verdants and Polly's and Dayers in terms of the ingredients and the quality of their beers and the consistency as well. But they're a very consistent brewery. I don't think I've had anything that's not above average from them. So it's another cracking one. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Beak, and this is Ron. This is an IPA, 6.5% in collaboration with Allkin Brewery. It's a very good beer. We start with the aroma. Well, to be honest, it's one of those sort of beers where you open it and you can already get sort of a hint of the aroma. You're getting a lot of sweet orange, a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of pine. There's citrus fruits in there. Then you're also getting the pink grapefruit in there. And it's got a little bit of a sort of that rose petal, that little floweriness about it. The more that I smell it, smells really good, and it's very inviting. It gets those taste buds going. So I'm giving it 14 for aroma. Appearance: it's a lovely looking beer, beautiful colour, nice haze. The head's is well retained there, a little sliver of head. I think it looks pretty damn good. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 for appearance. Flavour: well, like the aroma, you get big hits of sweet orange. Then you get a little bit of pineapple and a little bit of mango and other tropical sort of flavours like papaya in there coming in. There's also a little bit of a hint. The more I taste it, it sort of settles on your tongue. There's a little bit of earthiness in there, that pine and earthiness. But then it rounds out with a sort of almost sweet pink grapefruit sort of flavour. There's a little bit of rind bitterness in there, but only very sort of small. You're getting all those flavours. You're really getting the sort of the hops in there. I think the Sentinel works. It's a sort of strange one for a New England, I always think. I always think the Sentinel was associated more with sort of more West Coast sort of beers. But that's bringing a little bit more pine, a bit more earthiness, grounding the beer, a little bit more almost grassiness to it as well. But it's got this nice orange and pink grapefruit. They're the big flavours in this. And it's got this sort of almost creamy sort of mouthfeel. There's a lot of oats going into this to give that, or wheat. And unless it's actually what it says in it. It says it brewed with a grist of barley, wheat and spelt before in a pre, mid and post fermentation. Yeah, I'm not sure it has got, actually it hasn't got oats in it. Hasn't got oats in it at all. So, but there's definitely that wheat and spelt and barley. It gives it a really nice creamy body. I think that really works really well. So I'm going to get 34 for flavour. I think it's really good. Value for money. Well, as I said, these are a little bit more expensive, but there's a lot. You can tell that it's quality ingredients. You can tell there's a lot of hops in there. It's a hop forward sort of beer. So even though it's still under a fiver, and I still don't think it's good value for a 6.5% IPA. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, just because it's a quality product. Usually I may have knocked a point off because it's at that £5, spending £5 on a can of beer, you could see that being a bit expensive, but it's quality, so I'm giving it 8. It's good value for money. And my overall experience, well, it's a really well-balanced beer. I mean, I say that a lot about these beers, but you can really, because I've been drinking a lot of supermarket beers, you can really tell the quality in this beer. There's a lot more, certainly as soon as you taste it, you get that creaminess, the thickness and the smoothness of the beer. Certainly gives it that little sort of bit of slightly more expensive sort of taste. And then just the flavours coming through, you're getting the orange, then you're getting, it develops, you're getting then more tropical, then you're getting this pininess and this sort of pineapple even. Then you get pink grapefruit and citrus, and then you get orange rind and grapefruit rind. It goes on a journey, and you know I always find that with supermarket beers you get one flavour and then it sort of washes itself away. This has got a real sort of complexity to its flavour, works really well. So my overall experience, I'm giving it 15. I think it's worthy of that. It's a very good beer, but you know Beak have got a very good track record. Tighten the scores up, we hit the highly recommended, just 80 out of 100. It's another great beer from Beak. Yeah, as I said, let me know whether, because there's lots of Beaks out there. I've had locals, I think I've had a few others that I haven't reviewed as well, and they've always been good, if not better than good, to be honest. But I wonder if there's any out there that I should really be drinking, some really good ones. So if you've had a Beak recently, let me know in the comments which one it was and whether I should try that one, whether it was good or not. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We're getting right through the beers that I've had for April, because we had all those supermarket beers as well. So I haven't reviewed as many of them as I probably was going to, but there's still a few more to go. So hope you've enjoyed this video, and until the next one, keep on rocking.